Bye.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to weekend number something of the Herd Winter Racing Series. This evening we are on race number 2, and we are all go already as we head around 3 laps of the Volcano circuit reverse or counterclockwise. As we head towards the volcano, into the volcano, at which point we will start the first lap. I'm joined tonight by Brent and Craig. Craig is doing cameras and commentary, so anything could happen. But tonight I'm following Cam St. Pierre, who occasionally races for Herd. Apparently tonight he's not, but he'll probably tell me afterwards that he is. He's not in Herd kit, so let's all give him loads of shit whenever we possibly can. Cam St. Pierre, why are you not wearing Herd kit? You race for us in ZRL. This is unacceptable. Do you not agree, Brent?
Cam always wears that neon yellow kit. I know because I have chased him several times and I only maybe caught him like once. So
maybe he's done so many Herd races. He just doesn't have time to do a Herd group ride to get the Herd kit.
It's entirely possible. He does a lot of racing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
At least he's upgraded to A finally.
Well, it's part of my strategy in the Stampede on Sunday and Monday to basically get anyone who's better than me to upgrade to A. Brent, I think on a 50-50 basis you are better than me, but I'm going to let you off, seeing as sometimes I beat you. I'm trying to get rid of the other James Bailey and Husky Crone. Husky Crone is like literally on the verge of upgrading. I think the other James Bailey could well do it very, very shortly. And Alex, whatever his surname is, that I've completely forgotten, realistically is an A, but he's protected by his weight. So.
Yeah, okay, so I'm following Terry Rigby, who is also not wearing Herd kit, but I do happen to know or believe that he is pretty new to the Herd. So he's wearing DDC kit, and we've got a long, happy relationship with the DDC guys. So he has just fallen off the back, though. He's doing pretty well, but in 32nd place, but has lost touch right
now. On the topic of the DDC, I know that Max Szymanski's in this race as well. So hello to Max, long-time friend, and hope he goes well, but not as well as the Herd racers, which we will include Cam St. Pierre in that, even though he doesn't have Herd in his name or a Herd jersey. But as I said earlier, we are going to let him off and try not to talk too much about the Stampede, which, by the way, is on Sunday at 7 p.m. Also, 9 a.m. on Monday, 7:05, 22:50, and 1 a.m. on Tuesday, UTC. But that's all I'll say about it, other than potential chats with Brent. Brent, who are you following?
I am finally actually following Gary Bramwell with the Herd of Fishers. He is in the front group, going well. He's stuck in there, no problems at all on this. He's inside the volcano, heating up with everybody else, and there's no problems at all.
Realistically, if you can stay with a group to the volcano, you're probably set for at least half a lap, because realistically, I think the hardest part is the ramp going left out the pen,
Possibly
and
right.
you're probably okay until the ramp into the volcano, which is probably what 5k in, mate, between 4 and 5 kilometers into this race. Because it's pretty flat until that point, and then you've got a, let's call it a 30-second effort that's up about a 5% hill.
Yeah, that's about the gist of the race. Is sit in, hang on to that ramp as best you can, and then we'll see. There's a few strong names in this race, so we may see an attack. And in the noon race, we didn't really, to my mind, see anyone really punch it across that hill and try and shake anyone up there. So that's always a spot you got to watch out for. If you can stick with the group across that ramp, and then there's a steep ramp, and then it goes flat, and then there's a little ramp right before the lap marker. And if you can stick with the group till you get past the lap marker, you should be good each lap.
Yeah, definitely. And just to avoid any confusion, when Brent says noon, what he actually means is 7 o'clock in UTC, which stands for Universal Correct Time. And
Sorry, race one.
And I'm completely ignoring the fact that UTC and Universal Correct Time doesn't actually correlate, but that doesn't matter at all. Definitely not on a Friday evening.
It's all good. So Terry is, it looks like he's about to be caught by a couple of guys, but he's going pretty solid on his own. He's only 25 seconds back after being on his own for almost basically a full lap of the volcano. And he looks like he's got some company now, and is gonna hang on to somebody going just a little bit faster. So good on him if he can hang on. It's close, but I think he's got it. How's Gary getting on that first ramp?
I'm just going to jump in. Sorry, Brent. Cam's had a bit of a struggle. He was trying to coast a little bit too much at the back of a group on the hill, and he had to put up like 600-700 watts to get back on. But he's pushing it all out with a draft power up as well, and he's back in the front group. Over to you, Brent.
Yeah, Gary was in the middle of the group up the ramp. It looks like he's just fading back in the flat bit between the ramp and the lap marker. If he puts a little surge in, he should be able to catch back on. As you know, there is riders around him to make the group to stick with it, but he's going to have to put on a little bit of gas to get back in, because it did string out quite a bit, as I thought it might in this group across. So he is moving back up, but he's going to have to really surge here to get back on this front group, because I'm sure these guys at the front are going to try and string it out and shake some bodies for sure.
Yeah, interestingly, compared to the first race that you were in, Brent, it was definitely a lot more strung out, whereas I think your group was a lot more bunchy. Even going up the first ramp into the volcano. But
yeah, I think they went a lot harder.
Yeah. Numbers a bit higher. So race one, I think, was 65. We've got 80 in this one. But it's definitely bunching up again now that we've come out of the volcano. We've still got one guy pointlessly off the front, wrecking his legs and knees for no apparent reason whatsoever, because everyone's going to come and join him very shortly. But hey-ho, everyone loves a try.
Yeah, it looks like Gary is going to be off the lead group, and he's formed a group of 4 here between 25 and the 30th place-ish.
Yeah, Cam was P18 at the back of this group.
Yeah, it looks like there's a few stragglers in between that front group and Gary and Alan's group. And then there's another couple of stragglers in between Gary and Alan's group and Terry, who's on his own again. So yeah, it's he's pretty lonely right now with 3 or 4 seconds ahead and behind in 32nd place.
Does anyone want to break into song and start singing all by myself? I volunteer not myself.
I was I think I'll pass, man. Thanks.
To be fair, Craig, I was looking forward to you serenading all of our listeners, and I think they're going to be very upset that you're not doing so.
Likely.
Yeah. So we are coming up to 7 kilometres. We are back in the volcano. We have completed the lead-in, and we are just heading out of the volcano in the front group. And we have around, I think, probably 11 kilometres to go. I genuinely haven't looked at what the total distance is, but I think it's around about 17k.
I posted it everywhere, but I don't remember what it is.
Never mind. But we are just hitting what normally would be a nasty bit if you're doing the volcano circuit forwards or clockwise. It'd be the only ramp you actually have to do. But we are now just heading downhill before we hit the straightaway, after which we will turn left and then hit the ramp into the volcano. So that'll be coming up in around about 2 minutes time.
Okay, so we're moving along, and yeah, Terry's still there. He's got a group that's caught him from behind now. So he's got a group of 6 or 7 that he's been caught by. A couple of herd riders in there, Michael Jolly, and I don't see the other herd name, but it looks like this should be a good enough group for to stick together here. They look to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're just about to hit the ramp in this front group. Councillor Brent Robinson has left us momentarily. We don't know what's going on there, but we are just hitting the ramp. Can see Ian Elson is in there. Trying to see who else we've got herd-wise. Bruce Bortoff's there. Captain Pierre's hitting 450, 500 watts, 540, 550. He's definitely not going to make the same mistake he made the last time round. Up to 650 now. God, the pace of this group is so much higher than the group in the front group in race 1. They were definitely a lot more reserved. But it looks like there's going to be attacks on every single lap, which is brilliant. We love it.
I do notice recovery riding Matt DeFreitas in this group as well.
Oh, really? Recovery riding Matt DeFreitas said he wasn't riding, so he's there. He is. Yep, I see him in his stupid blue Tron, which he still hasn't realised is slower than the pink one. So, Matt DeFreitas, what are you doing? Why haven't you got with the times? I mean, he's even got pink socks. Come on. Oh, Matt DeFreitas, you are a constant disappointment. We'll have to keep on educating him. Anyway, Cam's doing well. Matt's also doing well, even on a recovery ride, despite the fact he's wearing the wrong colour wheels. We've got 2 laps to go.
Yeah. So it looks like so Gary's coming through in the front of his group is in 24th or about, and 25th, 24th ish. They're coming through pretty well. Looks like there's still about 4, and Terry's still in this group of 6 or 7, and looks like they're starting to catch up to some of these guys that have been stragglers here. So it's they're stringing out on the 2 hills going into the volcano right now, but it doesn't look like it's much. I think they'll come back together as they go through here. How's things at the front, James?
Pretty standard. Cam is trying his very best to draft at the back, but occasionally starts to lose the back of a group and then has to do a little mini sprint. But he's covered that well. This group surprisingly is strung out more than I would have expected it to be. I would have expected it to be much more bunchy at this stage of the ride. But yeah,
Is that strung out, or are they lapping riders?
no, it's definitely a bit strung out. But they are definitely coming back together again now. I think they've realised that it's a little bit silly to start doing random attacks on the front. Like, I think Brent has left us. I think
So Brent did post a picture of a blue screen of death, so I don't know what exactly has happened, but something untowards.
To be honest, I think that's a really, really bad excuse, and he should apologise constantly for at least the next 6 months.
I am very sorry.
As you should be.
But I'm back. I am now, and if there's any discord between the time that I'm saying these things and when they're actually happening in the game, it's because I'm now watching Gary on YouTube, which sometimes is a little delayed compared to real life, and he remains in the group between 26 and 30 on the flat bit on the outside of the volcano. Sorry about that.
Craig, do we let him off, or?
I guess I think we'll have to. I don't know what our options are.
Yeah. You know, I get paid so well.
I'll just have to cut your hay check.
Indeed.
How is the race looking at the front? How was the last climb up the volcano? Did they shell themselves off the back?
Cam was pushing out probably 550, 650 watts. So I think the ramps up the volcano climb have been a bit more severe than they were in your race. Because I think you were doing like, what, 450, 500?
So we are approaching the
for sure
last
the
time
first
up
time.
here. And I think there's, the group is going pretty fast.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to lap people. And in race one that happened as well, but I don't think it was this early, maybe it was. But we're just taking the ramp on lap number 2. Cam's currently holding 475, 500. He's pretty much at the front of the group. Still holding about 550 watts to hang in there, just dropping down to 300, 200, and he is comfortably in the group as we head towards the lap banner to start the final lap. And Ian Elston has declared to the entire world, me. No idea what that actually means, because I didn't see any of the previous messages because I was too busy giving Brent grief for disappearing. Apologies.
So
It looks like
So Terry's group is just coming down to the little switchback. He's sitting in 35th. I think the front of his group is around 31st. There's a couple riders ahead. I think they should be same lap. These guys shouldn't be lapping anybody, I don't think. But they are working together really well, and it's going really quick. Terry sat up a bit to join this group, and I think he's going faster for less work for doing it.
Just going to jump in quickly, Craig. There is a bit of a breakaway led by Noah Belch, who was disqualified in the ZRL Premier League. And we've got a group of about 7 or 8. Cam had to put out about 700 watts to jump onto Noah's group. And we've got 2 ATP riders in here, Cicerelli and Gilden, I think. And we've got Swinton out Botiart as well. Cam is sat back wheel of this. He's going to need to push out some watts, which he's doing, back up to about 700 again. But basically, Cam is going to the front of a group and then the back of a group and then having to put out stupid numbers. He's still there. Group's about 8. And they have very difficult to see what the gap is at the moment. Yeah, we've got 5 seconds on the group behind. And given how far into this race we are and the size of this group, I think they're probably going to stay in front. Brent, I think this is a more meaningful attack than the free rider attack in your race.
Well, I'd say so, not just because of the size of the group, but also who's in it. Those guys look like they're going to stick it, I would say. I think Cam's made a fair decision to decide to make that sprint to catch on. Just quickly back to Gary, their group at the bottom of before the ramp on the bottom of the Volcano caught up with a group of another 4 or 5 riders. So now the front of that group is up to around 20th place. So that's good. They caught on, they did the ramp. Gary had a really strong ride up the ramp into the Volcano. I think he was basically the first guy across the top of that one. So he's definitely, working with this group. They're in this group, and they've caught that group in front of him. So I think he's got a good chance to finish in a good spot out of this group because, if those guys are already slowing down that much that they rode into him at that speed, they're definitely, probably maybe a stronger group even coming in behind. So good spot here around 20th place. He's got a good shot for that on the sprint here.
Yeah, it looks like Terry's group has likewise caught another rider or two. I think the front of this group is now up to 29. So, it's as often happens, the solo riders that get dropped are getting swept up by the groups behind.
Yeah, I think this group is definitely going to be the winning group now. So come back to me in about probably 30 seconds or so, and I will talk you through the end of the race.
Yeah, Gary's group is they're on the flats, they're on the outside of the Volcano. They're I think gathering their cells for the final push. I think they know it's coming, so not too much action here, but they're definitely not going to catch the group in front of them. So this is their final bunch sprint. It also has Eric Sedgwick in it, who's a solid B racer, and there's another herd racer in here, but I can't tell who it is. The names are flipping around too fast on.
I think that's Ellen Shovel.
YouTube.
Anyway, back to
Ellen
James
Shovel.
for the finish.
Yeah, no, final ramp is just coming up now. Cam's at 540 watts, 600 watts. Doesn't have a power up, but there's feathers all over the place. 600 watts, 630. And it's stretching a bit away from him, but have they gone too early? Not entirely certain just yet. Cam now up to 700 watts. Got a let off now before the final sprint, but Cam's still doing 570 back in the front group. So there's a couple of riders just off the front. Noah's still pushing really hard, but everyone's catching back up to him. Got not too far away at all from the final line. It's like the last 100 metres, and Cam in P4 still over the line. Very good. Well done, Cam.
Well done.
So Gary's group is probably good spot here around 20th place. He's got a good shot for that on the sprint here. And there's another herd racer in here.
Dropped or getting swept up by the groups behind.
Their final bunch sprint on the sprint here.
Yeah,
Don't
it
think
looks
they're
like
gonna catch in it. Those guys look like they're gonna.
Yeah, we've got 5 seconds on the group, and then the back of the group, and then having to put out stupid numbers primarily as we head towards the lap banner to start the final lap. And IN Elson.
He's doing.
Back of the group.
Decide to make that sprint to catch on. Just quickly back to Gary, their group at the bottom of before the ramp on the bottom of the Volcano caught up with a group of another 4 or 5 riders. So now the front of that group is up to around 20th place. So that's good. They caught on. They did the ramp. Gary had a really strong